Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. Welcome to my last video of 2019. In today's video, I will be showing you 21 projects you can create with the Something for Everything Paper Pumpkin Kit. Not only that, but at the end of this video, you stick around and you are going to learn how to create this box out of a card base from the kit. It's a widely requested tutorial that I'm asked to do all the time. And although it's been shown on my YouTube channel, I am going to show it again using the specific supplies from this kit. In addition, you are going to get to see a full unboxing of what a paper pumpkin kit looks like. And you're going to get a couple of sneak peeks of new products that will be available after January 3rd in both our Spring Mini catalog by Stampin' Up! And in our celebration brochure. Along the way, I'll show you lots of different products that I use to integrate into the Paper Pumpkin Kit. Each month, I get 2 of these kits. You get a crafty surprise if you subscribe. It is $22 including shipping, and there is going to be a link to how to subscribe in the description of this video. Now let me just zoom in and show you the first thing I do when I get a Paper Pumpkin Kit. These are the instructions, and the very first thing I do is I take out the instructions and I look at the coordinating colors. In this Something for Everything kit, there's crushed curry, grapefruit grove, old olive, shaded spruce, and terracotta tile. Knowing this and looking at the samples, without even opening the detailed instruction book, which I can do, which I never do, but you can do if you like to do, without even looking inside, I just look at the cards for inspiration, and then I just decide to do my own thing. So what I want to do is show you how I would just start out making my paper pumpkin kit. And it was a challenge this month because I had a house guest. We were using the table for Christmas dinner, and I had to keep putting everything away after I got started. So I just want to start out by saying I would take this kit and look at it, and I looked at these and I was like, these are pretty busy backgrounds. So especially this background, I love these coordinating colors, but this background's a little busy for me. So the very first thing I did was just start breaking up the backgrounds by using some other techniques. So I took the card base for this first card, and I took it and it was all covered with this crushed curry polka dots, and I thought that's great. And I just put a piece of terracotta tile over it, a matting of terracotta tile. And it's just plain. I do some embossing later, and I just used the stickers. So I would say that this card is the closest that I came to following the instructions for this kit. The kit came with supplies and these envelopes, so I love the envelopes, and for most of the time I used the envelopes. It came with 12 card bases and 12 envelopes. So this is terracotta tile, and that matches. Okay, a couple more things to say are these stickers. They're in gold, and I love how I could cut them apart and make the flourishes go in different parts of the card. So this was one big flourish, but that I cut in half. I love these abstract flowers and the little leaves that come with them. I stamped it in terracotta tile. Every kit comes with a stamping spot, and I give these away to my team members and new team members to help them start their ink collections. So what I like to do is I like to take out, and you might not have this, but I like to take out a full-size ink pad by Stampin' Up, and I also use my marker, my terracotta tile marker, to color some stickers later, which I'll show you. And that's what I like to do, and then I take my stamping spots and save them. The first time you subscribe, you're actually going to get a stamping block as well, an acrylic stamping block as your free gift from us at Stampin' Up. All right, anything else to say here? There's some stickers, and there were some little rhinestones in the kit, so I used the rhinestones to put in the middle of the flowers, and the flowers are in Grapefruit Grove. Now moving along, I would take the same concept, and I decided that I wanted to make a square card. So I used a Whisper White base. This is thick Whisper White cardstock. And I took the background and I cut it into a square shape. And then again, just happy birthday. This is called Something for Everything, this kit, because there are so many different sentiments. You're going to get to see that in better detail in a minute, but just know that all the stamps that have a little bit of terracotta tile stain on them are the ones that I was using for stamping for this kit. So again, just happy birthday. It's a square card, very basic, but I'm still going to put it in the envelope. I wanted to make sure it still fit in one of those cute matching envelopes. Okay, so project number 2. Another card I created was with crushed curry cardstock. So now I'm using crushed curry cardstock instead of one of the card bases, but I'm breaking up the different card bases here by using the front of one of the cards And then I just did some layering here. There's a layer of the other pattern with all the flowers on it, and I layered it with a piece from the stripes. And this just broke up, I think, the pattern so that it wasn't as overwhelming. Because like I said, I think this one here, in my personal opinion, it's a little bit overwhelming to use on a card by itself. But I was able to cut this apart and use it in so many different ways, so it's not so overwhelming. And I say overwhelming to the eyes. Now to the feeling of, crafts are all about feeling. When you give people things, they feel better. And I think that those flowers will make people feel better no matter how many flowers you put on something. And that's a nice Feel Better Soon card. What I'm trying to do this coming year, one of my resolutions, if you call it that, is going to be to try to do more with birthday cards and get well cards, because I really do a lot of like friendship type cards and care packages, but I really need to do more to remember actual birth dates of people's birthdays. I'm going to show you a few of my tags now. These are all different, and I've made 6 tags all together, and I'll show you a couple more later. So now when I make a tag, or you can call it a tag, you can call it a bookmark. I mean, you can use this as a bookmark. The only thing is, if you're going to use things as bookmarks, then the rhinestones might leave a little indentation on the book that you give to someone. So let me just show you all these at once and talk about them. And I'll actually introduce this product here. So when I make, again, I looked at the coordinating colors and I said, oh, let's see what I have in these coordinating colors. And I broke apart. So I broke apart the backgrounds of the cards. So this is a background of one of the cards in the kit. This is a background. This is just using plain old, Grapefruit Grove cardstock and Old Olive cardstock. And this is a card background. Then I took the stamps and I cut them apart, and this one was one of the things I stamped right onto the sentiment, and these I just stamped onto an old card base, cut them apart. And I also used a few accents from another kit I have called the Notes of Kindness card kit. And that's where I got this round accent here, because it has gold foiling on the outside, which matched the patterns of this paper pumpkin kit. Okay, now what I'd like to do when I make my tags or bookmarks is I like to use one of my punches. I have a couple punches that were suitable for this. In this case, I used this punch here. It is called the Scalloped Tag Topper Punch. The reason I chose to use the Scalloped Tag Topper Punch as opposed to my delightfully detailed one is because I really like the way that this ribbon here, and I'm going to show you the ribbon. It's from our annual catalog. I like the way it threaded through this hole, because the hole is nice and wide as opposed to a circle. And it made the ribbon lay so nicely. This is what's called reversible ribbon. It's just gorgeous, and it's Old Olive and Pretty Peacock reversible ribbon. But so one of the coordinating colors was Old Olive, so that's the side I have showing on the front of these tags. Now the back, the Pretty Peacock, still matches this suite nicely, or this paper pumpkin kit, and there you can see the reversible ribbon. So on the one side of the ribbon is, well, actually I can show you on here. See, one side Pretty Peacock, one side Old Olive. I love how it shines, and I love how it lays on my projects. Okay, so I'm going to show you some more cards, and we'll get back to this in a minute. So that's all I did, was just punch the top. 2 inches wide, and then 1.7 inch for the middle layer. Now, I'm going to introduce a product. One of the things we do starting January 3rd every year is we do Celebration. Celebration is when you can earn free things. I can't open this up yet to show you what you can earn exactly, but I can show you the front of the catalog. These little things here are things you can earn for, like this stamp set, this designer series paper, these little ribbons and sequins, or twine and sequins, are $50 items. And this punch is one of the items you can earn when you spend $100. You don't have to do anything. It just is a free item that gets popped in, you can pick it. And this is one of the things you can earn. So this is it's called a small bloom punch. And I thought, why not start using it for these projects? Because after all, it goes with this paper pumpkin kit. And so that's how I punched this little small bloom out of Grapefruit Grove cardstock. And I put it on I accented different things with it. So that's your little sneak peek at the small bloom. If you'd like a celebration brochure and a mini catalog, I'm not sending out the annual catalogs right now, but I'm sending out these, and I can send you one. So use the link in the description for my contact form. Let's not digress. Let me go on to show you some more cards. Okay, so those were some tags, and I'm going to show you some more cards and some products from the annual catalog and how I use those. So when I say annual catalog, every June we have a new annual catalog, and that's this catalog here. I use many products from this, and this is one of the products I used from it. The Mosaic 3D Embossing Folder. And I love to make cards with embossing folders, and for the next several things I'll show you, I used embossing folders. So it's a really nice 6x6, even a little wider. So what I did is, I put the cardstock through the embossing folder, in this case terracotta tile, and then I cut up the card for one of the layers and did a Hey Friend card using the terracotta tile. One of the techniques that I like to do on embossing folders is color them. And in this case, I just used some crumb cake in the background. But you can't really see that right now, so I'm going to show you some white and how I used embossing folders for some white to really make them stand out in just a little while. Okay, so that's the terracotta tile background, and this is the old olive background. What I did for this one here is I took the stickers that were Grapefruit Grove, and maybe later when I open the stickers, I'll try to remember to show you that, and I colored those in terracotta tile. So now I have two colors of flowers. I just colored right over the Grapefruit Grove in terracotta tile, and then I had two different color flowers, and it made it nice to just accent this card with that. The gold flourishes from the set, and this little gold flourish up here is from my Notes of Kindness card kit. But you can use any gold foil you have, or even the edges of your stickers, to create that little effect for your background elements. Okay, so those were made from the 3D tile, or I'm sorry, Mosaic, not tile. I call it tile. It's not called tile. Mosaic 3D embossing folder. The links to all the products I used will be in the description of this video. I'll even try to put some of those in the comments, but I do get asked all the time how to get to the description. So please check out because some of you are watching this on a television, and that's why. So please do check out my blog, thepaperedchef.com, because in my blog I will have links to all of these things as well, and it's maybe easier to read than the description of my YouTube videos. I'm going to show you my boxes now, and then again I'll show you more cards, and I will show you how to make this box here, this particular box here, from one of the cards after we unbox. Now, to make boxes, it's very simple. You're going to cut your card base, the one side of the card base, and you're going to cut the other side of the card base for the bottom of the box. So I did that all 3 times, and the only difference in these different boxes are the different heights, or the different widths, I should say, that I scored around the edges to make the boxes and the lids. And I will teach you that concept. So I wanted to show them all together so you could see them next to each other, and just see how by changing the distance that you score, how you get a completely different box and a different look for your boxes. So for example, the card base was scored at 1 inch. I'm sorry, that's not 1 inch. This was 3/4 of an inch. This one, 3/4 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch, and 1 inch. So this is 1 inch, 7/8, and 3/4 of an inch. And then you get different looks for your boxes. Very different looks just by the way you score them. I can make boxes all day. It's very therapeutic. You're using your paper trimmer that has a scoring feature, or just the Simply Scored tool, and you're just cutting them. It's just so fun to do while you're watching TV. Now, mind you, I just showed one of my videos recently how to make boxes with your scan and cut. So even though you can make boxes with your scan and cut, you can't get as much out of a card base by trying to do it that way as you can when you do it manually. I use like every sliver of this card base to get the biggest box I possibly could, whereas some of the cards I showed with the scan and cut would use a lot more paper. But it doesn't matter. I'd still make cards with my scan and cut. I still make card boxes, I should say, and cards with my scan and cut. So I'm just pouring out some things and showing you that like a gift card would fit in here, business cards would fit in here. This is the one that's 7/8 of an inch. That's the one we're going to be making. I just put a gift card in there to show you. Okay, so in mini Tic Tacs. All right, I'll be showing how to get those to it another time. We don't want to digress. All right, this is just You're the Best with the crushed cherry on the bottom, and this one is Hey Friend. Let's see what I put in here. Sometimes I have to figure out what I put in there myself. I got this little tinsel from a suite of products. It's called a product medley, and the medley's going away probably, I'm pretty sure. Everything's going away January 2nd. So if you still have one of my holiday catalogs, which I know many of you have, and you want to order anything, a lot of the products are going away after January 2nd. And let me try to get this off, this tinsel. And that tinsel is from the Most Wonderful Time product medley. Oh, so many things were in that product medley. but we have some limited time products. Okay, I put Christmas things in my spring box. All right, well, that's cool. Why not? I still am sending out Christmas candy because that's the kind of candy I have. So chapstick, some Ghirardelli, peppermint bark. Okay, but just to give you an idea of what can fit in there. Okay, so lip balm and things like that. You can fit lots of things in this little box. This has an inch border. So just be creative. Think of things that you can do with all of your supplies and extend your supplies. And anytime you get a paper pumpkin kit, just extend it by using your supplies that you have from our annual catalog, from our other catalogs, and you can come up with like an infinite. I mean, I'm just getting started. I didn't even open my second kit yet. There's an infinite number of designs like that you can do with this kind of kit, with all of this different stamps and colors and embellishments. I mean, it's just amazing. All right, so this one here, these 1, 2, I did 2 cards using this technique. This technique, or this is called the embossing folder of, I'll put them next to each other. This is called the hammered metal 3D embossing folder. This one's not quite a 6x6. It's more of a, let's see, well, card base is 5.5 by 4.25. So yeah, it's a little bigger than a card base, an A2 card base. But you fit your matting and layering in there, or your different layers, I should say, and you have nice cards. Okay, so this hammered metal, let me open that up. I use this a lot with the brightly gleaming suite this season. You may have seen it on my YouTube channel when I did this with copper foil, gold foil, and silver foil. It made amazing effects with actual foiled cardstock and metal. But I decided, why not try it with some spring patterns? Because I like textures. I like when cards have textures. So that's what I decided to do. And therefore I used this one, which was the Grapefruit Grove background with an old olive card base. Again, coordinating colors with the suite. And this one is this is just a Whisper white thick cardstock background with a crushed curry card base. And in this one, I actually went one step further and even used the hammered metal embossing folder, which just fell, and I used that on this little strip as well. And again, in keeping with my idea of sending out more birthday cards this year, I made a lot of birthday cards, and I also like to give samples, to different customers as thank yous, and I like to have full cards as well. So anyway, there's what you can make with that embossing folder. And that embossing folder, again, is part of our annual catalog. And these annual catalogs, I mail them out every June. Once in a while, I do mail them out during the year. They're very expensive for me to mail. They cost $10 for me to mail unless I use a flat rate envelope of, let's see, an $8 flat rate envelope. So I just can't mail them all the time because many people don't even tell me they got them. I'm used to mail them to everybody who asked, and then people never even told me they got them or ordered, and it broke my budget. I was not able to market my business sustainably by sending out the catalogs all the time. I do suggest that if you place an order, you place one in your cart for $5 and you can get it as part of your order. That's the way I suggest people get that annual catalog right now when it's not the time I'm sending them out. All right, so Brick-and-Mortar embossing folder. Let me show you this one. So this is called the Brick-and-Mortar embossing folder. This I used the Grapefruit Grove, and I used the shaded spruce. Okay, shaded spruce colors, coordinating colors. Let me open up this embossing folder and show you that. I used this a lot with the Let It Snow suite this Christmas season. It really looked good with some colors, blueberry bushel and real red. I just love our 3D embossing folders. You can ink them up before you run it through, but I'm going to show you how I inked them up later. And what else do I want to say about these cards? Let's see. These cards used those abstract flowers again, and they used gold elements from the Notes of Kindness card kit. And I used a piece of that ribbon, that reversible ribbon that you saw earlier with the pretty peacock and old olive, with old olive sticking up. Another Notes of Kindness little element back there. Stamped that in Grapefruit Grove, the flowers. Stamped the sentiment thank you in terracotta tile. And just used some little beads. And I did ink this one with white ink, which I'll be showing you. Okay, I inked that one. I'll be showing you soon. Okay, so how I did this. So how I used some white ink, I'll show you out of the different embossing folder. All right, and this is just one of those note cards that I got from the Memories and More Note Cards and Envelopes by Stampin' Up. Okay, I have one more card to show you, but not yet. one more big card. I have lots of little cards to show you. I have some more tags. I have some more bookmarks, tag treats, and really, okay, there were probably more than 21 projects, but 21 sounded like a good number for the title of my video. My husband said, you got to have an odd number. It was funny because he just never chimes in. All right. So anyway, these are more tags, and I used the Notes of Kindness card kit for these little squares with the gold foiling around the edges. And I used crushed cherry on this one with that floral background and the reversible ribbon. Okay. I just used the crushed cherry card base. I didn't even use a piece of my cardstock, and I can tell by the card's base had a white background, whereas my cardstock, and all Stampin' Up! Cardstock, is dyed all the way through. You never get white core or white creases when you score our cards, because our cardstock. See, this is dyed all the way through. This is Grapefruit Grove, stamped on both sides of that. This is crushed cherry card base, as opposed to cardstock, because our cardstock is dyed all the way through. And some little elements there that I stamped. Now, keeping with that same concept, I'll show you these little cards in a second, but these I created what's called tag treats. Tag treats are something I've shown on my channel multiple times, so I'm not going to show that today. Maybe I'll refer to a video which I used recently to create these tag treats. Now, to do that, you're just simply taking the scallop tag topper punch, or any punch that you have, and you're cutting your strips of paper, and I have some that are in various stages of completion because I didn't finish making them yet, because I just didn't have all the rest of the things cut up yet, but I have to cut the sides of these. Okay, so this is, you cut them, you punch them, or sorry, you cut them, you score them, you punch them. It's very simple. You put little strips around the sides of them. That's it. They're so easy to make. And then I just simply cut up the happy birthday sentiment to say happy day. I cut out the good luck and the happy birthday to cut out this to make good day. And that was one of those flowers again from That's the Bloom. This is that small bloom punch for that flower there. Everything else is made just from the kit except for the ribbon itself. And see how I wrapped the card. I just took a piece of the card and wrapped it around the bottom. See, I wrapped a piece of the card around the bottom of each. 3/4 of an inch. This one I just used a little sticker in the background to make that sort of abstract shape. And again, good luck with some old olive cardstock. Instead of a card base for this one, I used old olive cardstock. And these I just put little Tic Tacs in them. I found a lot more of those, so I'm going to be making those available to my customers, some Tic Tacs, very soon in one of my newsletters. All right, so let's see what else I have to show you. I got to reach for it. I think I showed you all the boxes and all the tags. So yes, I did want to show you this other card and this technique. Oh no, here we go. We have these as well. Okay, so these are what's called, these little cards. I used the Notes of Kindness card kit, which came with loads and loads of little envelopes. It came with loads and loads of little, let me show you some of the envelopes. Like whenever you have black, I just used these kind of envelopes that came with the Notes of Kindness card kit. So it came with lots of striped elements, lots of gold elements, like these background pieces. So that's what I was using for these. I just stamped the crumb cake, using, what is this, Grapefruit Grove, all of those. And I just used some elements from the Notes of Kindness kit. And I instantly have little thank you cards for customers or to put in with care packages. Okay, so I love being able to use the different kits I have all together. That's one of the reasons I suggest, if you're new to Stampin' Up, is buying kits, because you just get to create so many more things, extend your thing. So now I want to show you a sneak peek of our product. Okay, this is we have a suite in our new, let me grab the catalog again, because I know you're probably like, if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, you're like, she's showing us so many catalogs. This is the catalog I'm currently mailing out. It is called the January to June 2020 mini catalog. I'm calling it sort of the spring mini catalog. Okay, so the 2020 mini catalog. In this catalog, which I cannot open until January 3rd, there is a suite. And the suite is called Tropical Oasis Suite. And in the Tropical Oasis Suite is a basket weave or coastal weave embossing folder. So coastal weave, and if you've been following my Instagram, you've seen that I've made loads of things with this suite. And here's something I made with it. So this is the Coastal Weave Embossing Folder, Tropical Oasis Suite. Okay, so let's not confuse you. Now we're going back to the paper pumpkin. Just showing you something else you can make with that basket weave. So here's what I did with it. I took the same concept, something that came out of this catalog, and I used the new embossing folder. And I already have questions on my Facebook page, how did you do that effect? So here, they asked me, did you ink up the folder? Did you, put ink on the folder? And I have shown how to put ink on these folders in my YouTube tutorials when I talked about how to use embossing folders. However, that's not what I did in this case. In this case, I'm using a crushed Kerry card base. This is crushed Kerry. And a piece of coastal weave. See, I do a lot of things in stages, so as you can see, I have lots embossed already for future cards. So this is coastal weave embossing folder, and I'm going to show you how I got this effect here. Okay, I just want to show you this technique right now before I even open the kit, before I even unbox my kit. So what you do is you take our craft white ink. This by Stampin' Up! Is craft white, whisper white ink, and it comes in an uninked stamping pad. Now, I don't ink it up too much. I just put a little bit of ink in the middle of the stamping pad. Let me open this up for you. See? And it has got stained a little. I put a little ink in the middle of the stamping pad. And I take one of my sponges. This is not a Stampin' Up! Sponge, but I'll link to it in the description. It's just the sponge that I like to use. It's kind of getting dirty now. And I'm going to show you how it would ink up, or how it would just start to ink up this one. So I'm going to tap, tap, tap with a sponge. And I'm going to show you how I would do that little effect. Okay, and look at the way when you use white embossing, or not embossing, white craft ink. Look at how you can change an embossing folder. Okay, and I'll just do the corners as well. Okay, so I'm just tapping into the whisper white ink, and I'm just getting the edges. And then when it dries, it gets a little bit darker. And if you want it to be not as inky, you can add a little bit of water, just a little bit, but you don't want to make your paper fall apart by adding too much water to it. It's very therapeutic. I ink up all my folders. I first emboss all my folders, and then I ink up all my folders, and then I adhere them to the card bases, and then I just start to make cards out of them. So that's just a technique that I was asked about. So I just wanted to show you how you get that and this doesn't matter what embossing folders you have. This happens to be Coastal Weave, one of our new ones, but it doesn't matter what you have. You take some ink, you ink it up, and you can bring out the embossing. Okay, let me close that. So that was one of the techniques I planned on showing. And then for this card, all I did then is take your stickers that came with the kit, which I'm about to show you, and that's it. I just added little rhinestones, stickers, pieces of card. I mean, that's it. So imagine what you can do with this particular kit. And you might be saying, but if I subscribe, do I get this kit? Well, actually, no. Because if you knew what was going to be in the kit, then that would take all the fun out of it. So in other words, Stampin' Up! Doesn't tell you what's going to be in the kits. It's a surprise. So if you subscribe right now, you're not going to get the kit I'm about to unbox. It comes like in a cute paper pumpkin box. You're going to get January's kit. Now January's kit, right now I'm unboxing December's kit. If you subscribe by January 10th, you're getting January's kit. And that's going to include treats to make 20 Valentine's and 10 note cards. That's what they've told us so far. So it's a Valentine's kit. So that's why it's good to subscribe, because because right now only subscribers can get the refills for this kit, and only subscribers would have got this kit. And a lot of times the refills run out, and a lot of times, like, once you miss it, it's gone. You can't get the kit. So I'm showing you what's in a kit, but you can no longer get this particular kit unless we sell it as a refill or a full kit and you're a subscriber. So one moment while I get a pillow, because my knees are hurting very badly sitting on the floor. Okay, need a little pillow to sit on. So when you get a paper pumpkin kit, the very first time you subscribe for $22 a month, including shipping, you will get what's called a stamping block, and that block will allow you to put the stamps on here for your sentiments. I'm going to show you what these look like. I get 2 kits because I can't wait for refills. I just can't wait to get them. See, feel better soon, so very sorry, just because. Hey friend, it's your day, you're the best. Mr. and Mrs., some little flourishes. Congratulations, happy birthday, let's celebrate. Good luck, thank you, and love you lots. That's why this kit was called Something for Everything. And then I have a terracotta tile stamping spot. And these I will give, like, the first team member who joins, my team this coming year is going to get that. this, as long as they're not already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. The first person who doesn't have this set, I'm going to be giving that away. Somebody who joins and already has the set will be getting something else. But this is what it looks like. So we're going to unbox. And when you get a refill, you don't get the stamping spot and the stamps again. You would just get these refills. And usually I think they're about $10. Can't remember. But that's because I usually just get 2 full kits. But you can get refills and then add them to your order. And the refills aren't available for this one just yet. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it open and just showing you what's in it. So you get these little, you saw me use these. I used up every single one of these little gold rhinestones. And they even have, let me get that closer. They even have little circles around them. So cool here. You can see the little circle around them. They're like 3D rhinestones, which is nice. And then you get Stampin' Dimensionals. That's these little 3D adhesives that pop up your embellishments. In this case, you got 12 card bases. And you've seen me use the card bases. So you get 12 of those. And I even cut one of them up and I used one of these card bases as a bookmark. Like on here. Here you go, like this one here. I cut up that card base and used it as a bookmark. So again, infinite possibilities, just infinite. I mean, I'm just getting started with this kit. And I'm not even into florals, and I love gold embellishments. I love embellishments, and I love paper. I'm the papered chef after all. I'm getting excited about any kind of new paper and kits. So here you get 4 sheets of these beautiful flourishes. And remember I told you I cut apart the flourishes? That's because they're all one piece, see? So you snip in the middle and you get double. And actually these I snipped 3 or 4 times just to get more embellishments out of them. Okay, this was one of the most popular card kits because it came with full card bases, and people love when you get full card bases because you can do so much more with the full card bases. This is crushed curry. This is terracotta tile and that floral pattern that I broke apart a lot because it was busy. We'll save this for a minute. This was the shaded spruce and the striped ones. My sister said that would look great for St. Patrick's Day, you know, for making good luck cards with that. And I'm thinking I could cut out some shamrocks with my scan and cut. Okay, here's another page of that. And here are the stickers. So we have 4 pages of stickers, which are gold. Okay, 4 pages of gold stickers, and then 4 pages of these kind of stickers. Okay, so these are just all the little things you saw me use. And now at this point, I wanted to show you that little technique of coloring. Oh, and you get all these too. Before I show you how to make the box, we'll just color a couple flowers. See, these are the little ones I stamped on. And these were just the white with gold outlines, and then I used some from a Notes of Kindness card kit. Okay, so when you want to change the color of a sticker, all our Stampin' Right markers have a thick brush end and a fine tip end. So what I just did is I just colored outside the lines is all I did. Okay, I just took my stickers and I colored a couple of them. And that's how I got the effect on this card here. Oh boy, here we go. That's how I got this effect here. Okay, so I have stickers, terracotta tile next to the grapefruit grove. So this is just something easy you can do to your stickers. You could also make these into mossy meadow. Like this is, right now this is old olive, but if you want them darker, like mossy meadow, you could color over them, or even shaded spruce. But you don't want to mix, like, I wouldn't color these green, but I would only just color them a darker version of what they already are to make it not so tacky, because you don't want to mix colors and get them to be muddy. But the terracotta tile mixed very nicely with the grapefruit grove. Okay, so now what you're going to do is we're going to take this. Okay, we're going to take a card base and we're going to make a box. Okay, let's go back and show you. This is going to be my 7/8 of an inch box, and I've already done a little bit of, I haven't done anything with the card base because to make those projects, I had already cut everything apart, as you know. But I did save, I have a little piece of twine. Here's some old olive twine we can tie it with, and I did already stamp the sentiment, the congratulations, so we don't have to do that again. So now I'm just going to show you how to make the box part of this card, out of the card. So what you do is you take your trimmer. This is our new trimmer. It's available to our customers now. This is our trimmer does scoring as well, but I also use what's called a Simply Score tool. Our trimmer comes with a scoring and a cutting tool. So that's the cutting one. So what you do with your card is you just stick it in, and you don't need any measurements for this card in the box. You don't even need to measure it. All you need to do is get rid of the, see, it's a scored card. You just need to get rid of the scored part. I'll show you what I mean. So you want this, you want the top to be bigger than the bottom, but it doesn't matter how big. So all I'm doing is, see, I'm cutting off the edge. So now I just have a big old rectangle. Okay, now I have a rectangle here, but I need this rectangle to be a smidgen smaller than the top. So this is the bottom of my box. This is the bottom of my box. That's the top of my box. Okay, so I'm showing you how to make a box out of any card you have in your entire stash. Now we're going to trim this off, and I think I got it. That's your smidgen. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a smidgen. Everyone always asks, how big is a smidgen? That's how big a smidgen is. And then you put them on top of each other, and you see that this should be a smidgen smaller, and it is. But you need it a smidgen smaller on each edge. Okay, again, measurements don't matter. It only matters, it doesn't matter what size box you make, it matters that the bottom of the box is a smidgen smaller than the top of the box. That's all that matters. Okay, and then it matters where you score. So again, I'm going to cut a little smidgen off. And there's my smidgen, and there we have the bottom of the box. So that's it. So we do this, I did this for all 3 cards when I made all 3 of my boxes. And now I'm going to show you how to make what's called the 7/8 inch box. And I did a box out of this card. It doesn't matter which card you do it out of. I want you to apply what you learn and do this with whatever supplies you have in your stash right now, even if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber yet. And by the way, my Paper Pumpkin subscribers, I hope that you will join me and be one of my subscribers, but you need to be in the US or Canada. But I can't take Canadian Paper Pumpkin subscribers, only US Paper Pumpkin subscribers. We don't do this in other countries, unfortunately, for all of my international viewers. So what I'm doing now is I'm scoring. I particularly like to use what's called the Simply Scored tool. See, it's called Simply Scored, and it comes with this little scoring tool. I like to use this for scoring. My paper trimmer scores as well, but I just like to use this. I mean, you use the tools that you're most comfortable with. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong way. I'm doing 7/8 of an inch for this particular box. That is, these are in 1/8 of an inch, these scoring lines. There's the 1 inch mark. Right before 1 inch mark, I'm doing 7/8 of an inch. And I could do some math and do it that side, but instead it's just way easier when you turn the paper and you do 7/8 of an inch on all sides. It's just way easier to turn the paper and just to do it that way than it is to do any math and figure out, how much to score on the right side. So let me get that a little closer so you can see me make this box 7/8 of an inch. Okay, so there we go. So now I have the top of the box scored. The bottom of the box is the exact same way because I want the top of the box is going to go over the bottom of the box, but you're still scoring it the same way. 7/8 of an inch. Oops, let me put this in the camera view so you can see that. Here, I need some color in the camera, so put that there. 7/8. 7/8. If you mess up, then no big deal. You just score again before you fold it. And 7/8. So now you have your 2 sides. So you're going to take your little paper snips. And where are my paper snips? Here we go. And I like to say you're going to make an H. So let's do it on this white piece of paper first. So this is an H, like the letter H. And what I'm doing is I'm doing what's called mitering the edges and getting out little triangles. Okay, so whenever you make a box, you need to do this. You need to just do this 4 times. Then you'll have like the little letter H. It looks like a letter H when you're done. So you're just getting rid of you're making a little triangle right in where the scoring is, right where you scored. So you're cutting out triangles. And then you're going to do what's called mitering the edges of your box. And that way when it folds, when you fold it later, you don't have to do any extra trimming. It all folds evenly. You'll see what I mean, crafty friends who are still with me. And then what this is called, so that's what I did. You got the little, see, looks kind of like a letter H. And then I'm mitering the edges. I'm getting a triangle off the side here as well. Here, just a little same size triangle. How big? A smidgen. Don't ask me to measure these things. It's a smidgen. It's a little tiny triangle. And it doesn't matter if all the triangles are not exactly the same. I think people get too hung up on measurements while crafting and forget how fun and therapeutic it really is. Okay, so we'll do the top now. We'll put the top together and then we'll put the bottom together as a review. So then you just fold along the score lines You add a little bit of glue or snail, or I actually have something called tear and tape, which works great on boxes. But who knows where that is right now. Oh, by the way, in my paper pumpkin kit, you also got these things. I don't know where they were when I just opened my these are like little glue dots, by the way. I don't know where they were when I just opened up my kit, but that was from my other kit. So what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of glue to each of the flaps, and this glue is really going dry. So again, you don't need glue, you don't need liquid glue. You could use what's called snail adhesive. All right, I was just using this. You know what, I didn't store it straight up like I should have stored it. Okay, you really don't need that much glue on these flaps, but I'm gonna rub it with my hand because that's the kind of crafter I am. I'm a sloppy crafter. Okay, so messy, let's say messy is a better word than sloppy. Let's focus that. So I'm just putting a little glue, rubbing it around on all 4 flaps. Now I also like to do, when I'm making boxes, I like to have little clothespins, which I don't have handy, but the clothespins, I just put on there little clothespins to help me hold it there so that I can, you know, do something else while it's drying. But this is tacky glue I'm using, which is just my own personal preference. No right or wrong, no haters please, because you all can use whatever glue you want to use. Anyway, then that's the kind of glue I use, and it's really great because you press it and it sort of just sticks right away because I rubbed off the excess. So now my box lid is done. So now that we have our box lid done, we can do our box bottom. And I'll show you how making that little smidgen was the reason, put that in the view of the camera, is the reason that our box lid is going to fit perfectly over our box bottom. Notice I scored color side up too. That's something to notice when I make boxes. The reason I scored on the color side up is then when you're going to fold it the opposite way, you get less of the white inner core showing through. If I were to score upside down, I might fold it and a little bit of the white might come through. So I always like to score downwards onto the colored side, and then I'm mitering the edges at the same time. This is just a review. And then I like to fold it. Okay, triangles. The reason we're mitering the edges, again, is just so when you fold it, you're not getting like extra paper sticking out along the sides there. That's how you get that. In fact, you only need to cut out the triangles and it would work. But I'm just doing the extra mitering the outside, kind of like a reinforcement. Okay, there's my little triangles. Make sure we go all the way down to the line, to the intersection. And I think I've only done a couple of little triangles on the outside, so let's see, have I done this one yet? No. And, oh, by the way, when I use my scan and cut, it does all this for me. I've done that one. It does all the little flaps for you, and it does the scoring. I prefer using a scoring tool, but I like how it does the dash score lines, and it does a lot for me, and it saves me a lot of time. So, you know, check out those videos if you have machines, because I did show how to use this. It's called a template maker. And I showed how to use a template maker to make any size box you want using the different dimensions you type in. Okay, so you stick your little flaps down like that, and you stick the glue on them. Yay, my glue's coming out this time because I didn't leave it. No, always leave your glue like standing. It's kind of like ketchup. You don't want it to, you want it to flow downwards. So that's why I store it like this, see? All right, so then you just need a little bit, then you rub it. This is me personally. No haters, no wrong way to do boxes. There's no wrong way to craft, period. So don't ever let anybody tell you there is a wrong way to do something. Okay, so there you go. So you have all this, I've just put a little bit of glue on the sides. There's just techniques and tips is all there is. As long as you get the job done, make someone happy, make someone feel good, you're doing it the right way. Because that's what crafting's all about, making others feel good. Okay, so so that's the bottom of the box. Okay, and that's it. So now we get our little treats, like your little candies, and you put them all in there. And because we did what's called making that smidgen earlier, wherever that smidgen here, because we made the top of the box, the bottom of the box a smidgen smaller than the top of the box, that is how the top of the box will fit over the bottom of the box perfectly. See that? If you hadn't done the smidgen, you would never get the top of the box to fit on the bottom of the box. And finally, just to show you how cool Paper Pumpkin is, and really this is dedicated to my subscribers, and I thank you very much. Any new ones are going to get some kind of card from this kit. I'll make you something from this kit. I mean, the ones that aren't getting this kit, you're getting the February kit. If you subscribe now by the 10th, you're getting the February kit. As you notice, I don't make any boxes, any cards alike. So we're just making this, like, see, I'm not even making it just like this one. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing. Got to put the sticker on. But you know what? When you put the sticker on, definitely like turn the box over, because you want the sticker to stick and it needs to be rubbed. So I would take this out and rub it like down like that. You know what I'm saying? Here, let's make the table flatter. Because the stickers need to be rubbed on real good. Little heat, little friction, and they stick on better. I haven't had any of my cards fall apart yet. And I've been making them for a week or so. Okay, so we have that. And then we have our little stickers that we just colored and some that we didn't. So let's put, every time I do things, I like to do it in 3s or 6s or some kind of odd number. So let's put 3 little flowers on here. We'll put that little flower on there. Okay, and then we're gonna take our dimensionals that came with our Paper Pumpkin kit, and we can pop up the, and what else do we need? We need, oh, some rhinestones. Let's do rhinestones and Paper Pumpkin, and then we're done. Here we go. Rhinestones and dimensionals. See, these are called Stampin' dimensionals. We sell these in our annual catalog. Just so they don't droop, I like to put one in the middle. Every time you pop something up with dimensionals, it looks better than just laying it flat. And it makes it look like one more layer, which is always nice. Okay, and I'm gonna add a couple rhinestones to these flowers, only because I know it's a box now. It's not like in a card, I hesitate to always add rhinestones, because in a card, sometimes my post office, gets mad at me. And they say, you can't put that through the mail without paying extra money. I know, I shouldn't bite it. My husband's always telling me, stop biting the packages open, but I just had to bite the package open first. And I actually have what's called a take your pick tool. And the take your pick tool lets me put rhinestones onto things way more precisely than my fingers. But you know what? It's not with me in the video. I can't bring everything into my videos, or my whole table would be full and more things would fall off than you've already seen. So there you have it, folks. That is how to create a box out of a card. Those are 21 projects you can use with this much Paper Pumpkin kit. And I'll add the little old olive twine as a finishing touch, because you can add any twine or ribbon you want. You could go all around the box, but I just like to go about, let's see, oh, that's too big of a piece of twine. I like to just do sort of a little bow around the middle of the box. So I just cut a little piece of twine, yay big. We don't measure. Sometimes I measure. And I just tie a little ribbon. And that's how you make a box out of the card. I'll be doing this a lot more with the rest of my kit, because I like giving away little gift boxes when I'm sending out things. And I'll be doing some more birthday cards. And I hope I don't need so many Get Well cards this coming year, but you can see how versatile that stamp set is. So if you're interested, please subscribe to Paper Pumpkin and get yourself a crafty surprise each month, as amazing as this Something for Everything kit is. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I focus on brother scan and cut tutorials, Stampin' Up! Products, and craft fair inspiration. This is the Paper Chef. Bye for now.